Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more. Lay me down behind the moon, tell me you'll be on real soon.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Kelly and FA. I'm Kelly. I have a rare disease called Friedreich's ataxia, or FA for short. If you're new around here, you might want to go back, watch a few of my first videos to see what my channel is all about. One thing I want to do more of is talk about advocacy and talk about rare disease and raising awareness and all that good stuff. So tomorrow I'm actually participating in some meetings with Congress to advocate for ataxia. So while I'm practicing, I thought I would bring you along and tell you a little bit if this is something you're interested in getting involved in. Highly recommend. It has been a really cool experience. Advocating is something I didn't know a lot about it up until this past February. In February, I went to Washington, D.C. with the Every Life Foundation for Rare Disease Week. I met with various Ohio senators and House of Representatives. I'll go into detail, but we had meetings to advocate for rare disease. September is Ataxia Awareness Month. NAF, the National Ataxia Foundation, and FARA, the Friedreich's Ataxia Research Alliance, they're doing a virtual Hill Day. So kind of like what I did in DC, but all virtual. So of course, when they asked me, of course I said yes. It's so fun. I have a meeting with Rob Portman's office. He's the Republican senator of Ohio. And I met with his office like a few months ago, and so now I'm going to do it again. And they're doing a virtual Hill Day, so kind of like what I did in DC, but all virtual. I have a meeting with Rob Portman's office. He's the Republican senator of Ohio. And I met with his office like a few months ago, and so now I'm going to do it again, and we'll see how it compares to last time. Also in the afternoon, they asked me if I would join the meeting for a senator from Georgia. I forget his name. I should probably do a little bit of research before I meet with him, but basically, even though I don't live in Georgia, I can represent people in Georgia with ataxia. So our Ohio meeting is with two other men and a woman who has ataxia. So it's kind of cool. We all have different types of ataxia, but we're all bonded and similar in the fact that we have many similar challenges. So it's kind of cool. I know so many people with FA, so it's kind of cool to meet people outside of FA, but who also understand what I'm going through. So tomorrow, we are meeting with Rob Portman. So how the meeting works, you only have 15 minutes. You hardly ever meet with the senator. You meet with one of his staffers. They're really busy people. So we're meeting with one of Rob Portman's staffers, and basically you have these legislative asks, things that you want to accomplish. So for Rare Disease Week in February, we had like a whole booklet with asks and giving some descriptions and explanations, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I just kind of like followed the book and I was so nervous. But this time, NAF and FARA were gracious enough to provide asks like on their websites. So I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying. Well, they all apply to me. Some of them I connect with more on a personal basis than I do for others. You introduce yourselves in this meeting and then in a little bit about your background and who you are and your story and your ataxia and how it affects you. And it's also important to remember it's not only about you, but you're also representing a lot of people. So I will acknowledge the fact that this is what I experience, but FA affects patients very differently. We have so much in common, but at the same time, it's so different. So I will acknowledge the fact that I'm able to live alone. My speech isn't severely affected. My life expectancy is not shortened, but I will bring up the fact that for many people it is, and many people have greater concerns than even I do. So that's important to remember. All right, let's dive into the asks. The first ask, and I'll be reading off this only because I haven't really prepped yet, and it's kind of like my meeting prep. The first ask is the National Ataxia Awareness Day resolution. I'm going to link everything below. International Ataxia Awareness Day is celebrated on September 25th. NAF and FARA are asking for a resolution to also recognize that date as National Ataxia Awareness Day. Designating September 25th as National Ataxia Awareness Day will elevate the awareness needed to improve the lives of people affected by ataxia, and it can also help accelerate the process of like drug development and access to effective treatments. For this resolution, you need a Democratic sponsor and a Republican sponsor. We have the Democratic sponsor, Senator Warren. We need a Republican co-sponsor, so this is something we will definitely ask poor man about. I want to add, in DC, they really encouraged us to remember that we are all on the same team. Like, leave your political views behind and your biases, because you want them to help us. In DC, they said everyone is part of the rare party today. Ask number 2 is increase funding for the NIH and FDA. So elected officials will be working on appropriations for government partners at the NIH and FDA in December. These agencies are vital to our drug development program and need the resources to appropriately manage the demands of COVID. This is something I can really speak to and get behind, because it pretty much directly affects me, whereas the other asks, it might be hard to see how it affects me, although I'm sure it does. But this, I have participated in clinical trials to find an effective treatment for FA, And these clinical trials are funded by the FDA and the NIH. And so increasing funding would greatly improve the access and development process. Another ask number 3, is community home health and telehealth policies. So these are basically, many Americans need this, and I think this policy is already kind of in the works, but we're asking for more telehealth opportunities. Ask number 3 is Creating Hope Reauthorization Act. To be totally honest and transparent, I don't know a lot about this. This bill will permanently authorize the Pediatric Priority Review Voucher Program, which will further the opportunity to spur innovation in rare and neglected diseases that disproportionately affect children. And then the 4th and final ask is the Rare Disease Congressional Caucus. So the Rare Disease Congressional Caucus helps bring public and congressional awareness to the unique needs of the rare disease community. This includes patients, families, researchers, doctors, and it creates opportunities to address roadblocks to the development and access to crucial treatments. The caucus gives a permanent voice to the rare disease community. So basically, we're asking the senators to join the Rare Disease Congressional Caucus. So obviously I have a lot more practice to get in for tomorrow, but feeling confident and ready. I'm going to practice what I'm saying so I can speak eloquently, and really, hopefully, crossing my fingers, make a difference for the ataxia community. Yeah, I will not be wearing a sweatshirt tomorrow. I'll probably put on a blazer, and obviously it doesn't matter what pants I wear, but I'll put on a blazer and look presentable. And let me know if you have any questions. You can leave it in the comments below, and if you would like to know anything else about this, let me know. Alright, thanks guys, see you next time. Quick update, it went really well.
Just stepping stones. Pour some whiskey when in Rome. Just sipping Jameson alone. I keep on driving perfect circles. Wonder if it's worth it. Always getting hurt and I keep on driving perfect circles. Wonder what's the purpose. I'm coming back to earth.